Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Friday, November 25, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. North Carolina Tar Heels vs North Carolina State Wolfpack. The Tar Heels have to take the Wolfpack seriously, but they mostly can't let them hang around for too long. North Carolina State will likely be without QB MJ Morris, who was impressive this year in relief of starter Devin Leary. Without him, I'm not sure how well the Wolfpack offense will fare, even against a mediocre UNC defense. The North Carolina State defense could hold its own for the majority of the game, but at some point, the Tar Heels' explosive offense is going to break through. I like Drake May's upside as a pro prospect and believe he will respond with a great showing against the Wolfpack after a bad game against Georgia Tech. At the end of the day, North Carolina State can't be trusted in this spot. It's 0-4 at TS in its last 4 road games versus a team with a winning home record and 1-7 at TS in its last 8 conference games. The Tar Heels may have stumbled against the Yellow Jackets, but they won't be stung in consecutive weeks, with an opportunity to make a statement versus Clemson in the ACC title game. Bet UNC at -6.5 points. The UNC defense has been bad all year, and even though North Carolina State hasn't been consistent on offense, the Wolfpack should be able to move the ball in this game. The Tar Heels gave up 30 points or more to both Duke and Wake Forest, 2 teams that are nothing special on offense. UNC has also had one of the best defenses in the country led by May, and this team has scored 30 points or more in 6 of their 11 games this season. May is having a special year, and the UNC offense should also be able to move the ball against a North Carolina State defense that has been inconsistent at times. Take the over, 56 points. Colorado State vs New Mexico. The Lobos struggled in the second half of the season and come into this game on an 8-game losing streak. They will try to put an end to their streak with a win over the Rams, which will give them their 3rd win of the season. New Mexico is averaging 14.3 points per game. They are throwing for 108.8 yards and rushing for 127.9 yards per game. CJ Montes completed 65% of his passes for 112 yards and 1 interception in the loss to the Aztecs. He also had 16 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. Nathaniel Jones had 8 carries for 68 yards, while Trey Hall had 4 catches for 57 yards. New Mexico has struggled defensively, giving up 26.8 points per game. They gave up 34 points in their last game and will need to do a better job if they want to win this game. The Rams struggled over the past month and come into this game on a 4-game losing streak. They will try to snap their streak with a win over the Lobos, which will give them their 2nd win in their last 6 games. Colorado State is averaging 12.8 points per game. They are throwing for 193.7 yards and rushing for 90.3 yards per game. Clay Millen completed 79% of his passes for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns in the loss to the Falcons. Avery Morrow had 8 carries for 42 yards, while Jalen Thomas had 6 catches for 49 yards. Colorado State has struggled defensively, giving up 29.4 points per game. They gave up 24 points in their last game and will need a similar effort if they want to get the win. The Lobos hosted the San Diego State Aztecs 7-4, 5-2 Mountain West and were defeated 34-10 on Saturday in Albuquerque. Lobos quarterback CJ Montes scored the only touchdown New Mexico would see in the game in the first quarter, a 6-yard rush. Montes completed 15 23rds passes for a total of 112 yards passing, with 1 interception thrown. Nate Jones led the rushing for the Lobos with 68 yards out of 97 yards total on the ground and 209 yards in total offense. The Rams traveled to Colorado Springs to play the Air Force Academy Falcons, A3-4-3 Mountain West, on Saturday and were defeated with a final score of 24-12. The Falcons are unique in that they spend most of their offensive focus on rushing and rarely unleash any passing potential they may have. This game was no different. The Falcons had 0 yards passing on 0 for 2 attempts. Meanwhile, the Air Force ground attack yielded 359 yards in total. The Lobos have a total point per game average of 14.3 compared to the Rams' 12.8, a combined total of 27.1. This game will be under in most ways. Both offenses are ranked in the lowest tier of offense in the entire FBS, 129th for the Lobos, 131st for the Rams. The trends point to under as well on both sides. Under is 5-0 in Rams' last 5 home games, and under is 9-2 in Lobos' last 11 road games. In 4 of the last 5 matchup with each other, this game has gone under. This year will be no different for these underwhelming teams. Take the under, 35.5 points. Missouri vs Arkansas. The Razorbacks snapped their 2-game losing streak with a win over the Rebels in their last game. They will try to bounce back from the loss with a win over the Tigers, which will give them their 2nd win in a row and 4th win in their last 6 games. Arkansas is averaging 31 points per game. They are throwing for 232 yards and rushing for 233.5 yards per game. KJ Jefferson completed 77% of his passes for 168 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win over the Rebels. Raheem Sanders had 24 carries for 232 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Matt Landers had 3 catches for 38 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Tigers have won 3 of their last 5 games and 2 of their last 3 home games. They have played well offensively thanks to a good ground game that is picking up more than 150 yards per game. The Razorbacks aren't very good defensively, and they have one of the worst run defenses in the league, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Tigers. The Razorbacks have lost 2 of their last 3 games. They struggled offensively during the stretch and were held under 20 points in 2 of those games. Even though they have the 8th best run game in the country, they will struggle offensively in this game because the Tigers have been great against the run, holding opponents under 135 rushing yards per game, and will keep their offense in check, so go with Missouri to cover the spread as home dogs. Take the Missouri Tigers plus 3 points. The offense hasn't scored more than 24 points all year in SEC play. They led New Mexico State 21-0 at the half last week and were up 45-7 in the 4th quarter after a 40-yard interception return for a TD from Daylan Carnell. QB Brady Cook threw for 251 yards and 3 TDs, including 7 completions to Barrett Bannister, 91 yards. All-purpose freshman W.R. Luther Burden III caught 3 passes for 35 yards with 2 TDs. Burden has 35 catches for 295 yards with 4 TDs and 95 rushing yards with 3 TDs. The Tigers took care of business with 443 total yards while allowing just 239 yards to the Aggies. The best thing about Missouri is its defense. They held Georgia to 26 points and just 12 in the first 3 quarters. The Tennessee game was a bit of an aberration as their defense has been rock solid in every other game. Arkansas has gone under in 2 of their last 3 games and 3 of their last 4 against Missouri. The Tigers have been an under team all year long save for the last 2 games as they are 8-3 under overall. Take the under, 55.5 points.